agenda. As a matter of fairness, you are asked to limit your questions to no more than one, and your remarks to no longer than 3 minutes. If you are here representing a group, please identify yourself, the group, and your position in the group. If you are here as an individual, please give us your name and address. This section of public participation will be limited to 15 minutes.
Evelyn Slockbrow, 43 Thunderhead Place. I'd just like to know, transfer current surplus funds, what the current balance is in the capital reserve account, and what the anticipated balance will be as of 6/30/2015.
I can't really answer that at the moment. We'll be having the audit, which will move money around, which will take place in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Dr. Sherman.
Yes, a couple of things this evening, but all under one big umbrella, and that is the umbrella of thank yous. First and foremost, I want to thank our faculty and staff, our supervisors, our administrators, for doing a really incredible job for the 13-14 school year. I've had the pleasure of working in 6 districts. This is my 6th. This is by far one of the more dedicated staffs and supervisory and administrative staffs that I've worked with. And a lot of the accomplishments, I know the board receives accolades every month, and we kind of run them on a scrolling line on the website and send out that T-Bird talk. Really talk about all the wonderful things, and it's just a snippet of all the great things that are really happening. So I wanted to say a sincere thank you. The second is also based on experience prior to being here, and then being here just cemented it. Dr. Roger Beiersdorfer was my colleague when I was in Ramapo Indian Hills as a superintendent. He was superintendent over in Franklin Lakes. Prior to that, I knew him for at least a decade before that, and he has become my friend. So coming on board, I expected nothing less, but I've got to tell you, I didn't expect an interim principal to run Betsy Ross Elementary School as if it was his own. And he did, from getting there early and staying late, to phone calls, to dressing up in some pretty incredible outfits for some pretty incredible things. You know, they say once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher, and once you're a principal, you're always a principal. And even though you move up through the ranks, sometimes it's tough to move back down because you're used to kind of doing it all. I don't think there's anyone who could have served better in that position, Roger, and we are real fortunate, and the kids are fortunate, and the parents are fortunate. I was able to go to a celebration that the HSO did for Roger over at Betsy Ross, and talk about real sincere sentiments, not only from parents and teachers, but from students alike. I think the best letter read was thanking Roger Beiersdorfer for being just a wonderful principal and reminding him not to forget his sunscreen this summer when he went on vacation, and it made me smile. So from my perspective, you know, as your superintendent, as your colleague, and as your friend, thank you for what you did for Mahwah. Thank you very much.
I'd like to know, what was the torch made out of?
The torch that we passed on?
Yes.
It was a paper mache.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't real. Yeah, we passed the torch to the new principal, which we're excited to do.
It looked really fun, but I personally thank you too. It has been a wonderful 2 years at Betsy, and you know, I really truly appreciate your help in the search for the new principal, and really for your dedication to Mahwah. It was wonderful. So I thank you very much.
Your return to Mahwah.
That's right.
That's right. I'm sorry. That's right. The full circle.
As some of the board members know, I was a teacher here in Mahwah because they were my students. Ed Donahue and Sam Bishop put their trust in me to hire a rookie kid to work in the middle school 40 years ago, and I loved Mahwah. I loved working here. I loved teaching here those first 9 years and coaching here. And it was a really good school district, but I have to tell you, coming back all these years later, wow. And I thank you for that, because the Board of Education and the administration, the staff, just like Lauren said, is so dedicated and so caring, and the kids are great. This district is really on the way up. Great job.
Thank you.
Roger, I actually didn't plan on being here. We're supposed to be on our way home from Hershey Park right about now, so I got back in time. I sent this to Lauren in case I didn't get back, so I'm going to read it real quick. Says Roger, our school district and Betsy Ross in particular have been lucky to have you for the past 2 years. Betsy Ross is a unique school with a unique vibe. It's an atmosphere that isn't easy to create and could easily have been upset by a building leader who doesn't get it. I'm happy to say that not only did you get it, you brought it to a new level. When I went to Betsy Ross, having to go to the principal's office was a bad thing, but the kids really enjoyed their interactions with you. For example, Emmy came home very excited one day to show us that she got a letter from you. She explained that Miss Samuels wanted everyone in class to write a persuasive letter to someone, and she wrote hers to you, trying to persuade you to make the school day shorter. We've had 2 of these so far. I expected to get another one about, how we need to get a puppy, but she while she was disappointed with the gist of your response, getting a letter from Dr. B really made her day. A lesser person taking a job as an interim principal in a district with an interim superintendent could easily have just kept the seat warm for a year or 2 until a permanent principal was found. Thank you for not just keeping the seat warm. Thank you for your stewardship of our cozy little school. You've left big shoes to fill, and I'd imagine that's not often said about someone filling an interim position. You are truly the right person at the right time. Thank you.
I told Emmy to take it up with the Board of Education.
That's really nice, Roger. That's great.
We love those from kids. Well, thank you very much, Roger. Again.
And one additional thank you will be to Ms. Janet Riley Donahue, but I think we'll wait until the end of the meeting to do that, so.
Yes. She has one tissue.
She only has one?
Only one.
I'll get you a box.
Well, Ms. Donahue, for the last time, I get to ask you about personnel.
Personnel. Okay, we have one person leaving, and this evening I'd like to introduce a new person to you. Verena Rossi, who's sitting right here, is going to be our new language arts supervisor, 6 to 12. So we welcome you to Mahwah. We had a really rigorous screening process, didn't we, Dennis?
Yes.
It was Dennis Fair, Brian Miller, John Pascal, and me. And we spent over an hour with each candidate. We boiled it down to 7 people. The competition was fierce. It really was. We had exceptional candidates. Verena Rossi seems like she's cut from the same cloth that our supervisory team is. So I feel really, really good about the right fit here with the right person. She comes to us from Pascack Hills, where she taught English. She's been teaching for 16 years. She's taught AP. She loves teaching, and that came through loud and clear in the interview, which was what spoke to me the most. Her passion for the classroom and for students, her obvious knowledge of the content and love of working with teachers. It was a real plus. Dennis lit up when we found out that she likes to be organized and color tab all of her files. So the English department's going to have the same kind of supervisor. I'm delighted that she said yes to us, and I'd like to welcome you for all of us. Spent 4 hours with Verena yesterday going over a to-do list, and I'm relieved that she's here tonight to accept the position still.
With bells on.
Good.
Welcome to Mahwah.
In addition to Verena, I just want to give you an update on where we are with hiring. I printed out a list today, and I'm really happy with where we are. It's not even the end of June, quite, and we have hired 25 people for next year, from an assistant superintendent, a principal, a supervisor, now I put the glasses on, at the high school, a Chinese teacher, a French teacher, Spanish, PE, social studies, and 2 art teachers, visual art teachers. In addition to those teachers, we've hired 2 secretaries, one for Betsy Ross and one for the athletic director. We've hired at the elementary level, 2 third-grade teachers, 2 kindergarten teachers. We've taken 3 part-time kindergarten teachers and made them full-time. We've hired 3 music teachers and 3 special ed teachers this year and 1 computer technician. In addition to that, we've hired some leave replacement people. There's very little left to do this summer. I have to tell you, we had such phenomenal candidates this year, and it really fits our teacher team, which is extraordinary as well. So I'm really proud of this. The principals, the supervisors worked very hard in screening their candidates, and I'm really delighted with the caliber of people that we attracted this year. So that's my last report.
And it was such a good
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay, no? Very quickly, I'd just like to thank, John Ebenetti is not here. Graduation, promotion of the Ridge was absolutely fantastic. Brian Millows, who's drove at the Ridge, did a phenomenal job. The students were interactive. I love to see that. I didn't know Brian could dance quite as well as he can, if that's what they call dancing these days. To Doug for a wonderful speech. I thank you very, very much. And on to the high school, where John, as usual, pulled out his magic of pictures and capturing moments and selfies with an entire class that I think was tweeted almost as it happened. To John Ebenetti for, again, a great speech, and I think we had 288 graduates in an hour and 12 minutes get all the speeches in and rip out all those diplomas. So it was a great job, so thank you to everybody, to Lauren for the speeches, Janet for the handing out of promotional things that stuck together a little bit, but I think we'll get that next year. So again, thank you to everybody. It was great. Committee reports, I'm going to ask, Chris, do you want to start with special ed so I don't sound like I'm just speaking at all times?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You should have a copy of the report in your in your folder. Okay. Okay.
They're back to front with special ed, with the instructional.
Okay. There you go.
I was saving paper.
Saving paper. Okay. We have policy coming down the pike, and it is, let's see, currently being reviewed by the special ed committee within the region to establish the wording. So just to let you know that there is some policy on independent and educational evaluations. It has to do with who can question the validity of independent evaluation, any independent evaluation, but more will come with that. We also have, let's see, we talked about a list of list of students that are assigned to summer school programs. These students who could possibly regress over the summer if extra time is not given. So we did have a list of those, and that is on tonight's agenda. It says it will be on the July 9th agenda, but it is on tonight's. We also have 3 legal cases that if you would like to discuss, we will discuss that in executive session. Also, we talked about the ESS program at Ramapo Ridge next year for the 2014-15 year. There are 9 slots, 8 are already filled. We need to hire 1 new therapist, and that will be, the therapist will be interviewed by the ESS staff, and Lisa Rizzo and John Pascal will have final approval on that. The ESS program at the high school has 18 slots, and 16 are currently filled at this time.
The new therapist, is that part of what we pay for ESS, or that's someone in addition we have to hire?
I think it's in addition because we expanded the program to the
Through
program.
ESS.
Yes, through, yes.
It was what was included in the budget. That therapist is in that amount.
Yeah.
But we still need to actually physically hire somebody. So once we, when we added the Ridge into the budget this past budget season, that was included in it. I'm going to go into instructional now. The new marketing and advertising class that we are offering. This is the book that they have chosen. It is on the agenda, and if anybody would like to see that tonight, it's sitting right here. Danielle Polway had a lot of things to do here. We had a change in the math lab personnel. Basically, they were flip-flopped from a previous a previously approved agenda, sorry. So they've just been reflipped. Danielle is suggesting a new course called Data Structures and Advanced Programming. Now this is going to be that higher level math course, Peter, that we managed to get one in. And now this will go above and beyond that for those students that will be taking those higher level advanced classes and finish through Algebra 2 as sophomores. They need obviously something else beyond that. So we're looking to give college credit to that, but they will be required to take that AP Computer Science class prior to taking data structures. A new course also on statistics and probability. This is for the student who completes the high school math program, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, but really doesn't want to stick with a math class, doesn't feel they're going to be a math major in college, but there needs to be something to fill in that gap so that they stay math ready for their college years. Again, those two are both going to be written in 2014, 15, and we'll offer them in 2015, 2016. Dennis Fair updated us with all of the array analysis task creations and the research simulation task source collections for basically 6 through 12 at this point are already complete. We did need to add 4 more hours to the curriculum writing for a study in print media. Again, that's on today's agenda. We're still reviewing textbooks for the digital film production, and Chris Zimmerman is going to need 6 hours for 6 teachers, K-5. And that's because we recently adopted the Words Their Way for kindergarten through 3rd grade, and we do need to work with our teachers and allow them to get their understanding of the curriculum for the implementation of that. And that was it. Are there any other questions, Suzanne?
Is that a new program, or is that taking over something that we already have, the Words Their Way?
It's new, but it's actually taking over. Chris Zimmerman presented it a couple of meetings back. That this is far more in keeping with Reading and Writers Workshop. So we have dropped, and I've so forgotten what it was we dropped.
Foundations.
Foundations, thank you very much. So Foundations is gone, and this will take its place, but we do need to obviously get some curriculum and some sources for that. Other questions? Okay, facilities?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
As we had promised earlier in the year, in your folders today is the district projects for the summer. What you don't have on there, and I don't know how we miss it, but the boilers that are replacements in Granville Ridge, George Washington, and Betsy Ross. Additionally, in Joyce Kilmer, somehow forgot to put this on the list, new energy efficient glass with R rating of 20 will be installed. Pardon?
Somebody just sneezed, sorry.
God bless you.
We stop meetings for these. We're very simple.
What's important here is it's replacing glass in the all-purpose room and the old gym with an R20 rating. Will save us money in heating and cooling. But everything else that's on there is going to happen. Now in September, our committee will come back to you with how did we do, and you'll see what actually was done this summer. But everyone is on track to do great things. We had a committee meeting again to discuss, to fine-tune the proposed building. You have it in front of you. To give you figures at this time would not be advantageous because they're pre-bid, and bid prices are coming in lower than expected. I know in my case, the library, the work we're doing downstairs in our teen center shocked the daylights out of us. They were so low. So to give you any kind of numbers at this point would not be advantageous. But everything's on track, and we're hoping to have the shovels in the ground by mid-October.
Thank you. Any questions for Peter? Any other policy, any other committees meet? Suzanne?
Public relations, I wasn't at the last meeting, so I don't know if it was discussed, but after much discussion and looking at many different words and connotations of every single word, we came up with a new slogan that we think defines the district. Dr. Sean, I don't know if you announced it district-wide.
No, I didn't, I was waiting for you, because you weren't
Okay.
at the last meeting. If you recall, for those of you that didn't, we had asked the student council over at the high school, if I can just give a little background,
Sure.
Suzanne. We'd asked the student council over at the high school to just solicit some responses from kids about what the new slogan for the district could be. It was something that we talked about at the beginning of the year. We probably received about 25 different suggestions, and then the PR committee of the board met, and we looked through all of those and kind of picked between a few and decided to move forward with.
With Thunderbirds soaring to greater heights. That would be on it. We wanted to keep Thunderbirds in there and show
Moving forward.
moving forward. That's it.
I do want to, I was trying to, what, if you would like to leave, I don't want to hold you. Okay. I was trying to mouth it to him, very quiet.
You should have brought your parents, and I could have used that as an excuse for you to get out of here.
As you just said that, Suzanne, can I remind all the board members, if you miss a meeting, it is up to you to call another member and find out what was discussed, or did we or didn't we discuss things. I think, you know, we're finding a lot of times people just don't know what they have missed, and it would be really helpful. I don't think it's up to me to chase everybody to let them know, but if you could make that something that you do on a regular basis if you miss a meeting. Board member remarks on?
I just want to say, I read both the professional development plan and the
Oh, good.
mentoring plan. Excellent,
Yes.
really excellent job. I was impressed.
I'm sorry, I left that off the instructional at the end.
Okay.
Chris worked long and hard on that.
It
really,
shows, it
really
shows in the work. And with the professional development, it's fantastic for our staff.
Old business? Roll call, please. Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right. Moved by Chris. I'm thinking that's something else. Thank you. Second by Peter, sorry. Questions, comments? Roll call, please.
12A, Mr. Salverini.
Yes.
Mr. Andrikowitz.
Yes?
Mrs. Curry.
Abstain.
Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. De Silva.
Yes.
Mr. Dolan.
Abstain.
And Mrs. Shada.
Yes. I'd like to move 13A through double I. Moved by Peter. Second by Chris. There were very few asterisks in this, so I'm going to assume that everybody has had that chance. Great job to Mimi on the bilingual plan that is on the table tonight. Questions or comments?
Your office was very busy this past couple of weeks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
13A through double I, Mr. Salverini.
Yes.
Mr. Andrikowitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. De Silva.
Yes.
Mr. Dolan.
Yes.
And Mrs. Shada.
Yes. And then I'd like to move 14A through O. Actually, may I do one thing? I'm sorry, I take that back. I would like to move 14A and B. Moved by Peter, second by Chris. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
14A and B, Mr. Salverini. Mr. Andrikowitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. De Silva.
Yes.
Mr. Dolan.
Yes.
And Mrs. Shada.
Yes, I'd like to move 14A by itself. Moved by Peter.
14.
14. Moved by Peter, second by Chris. Questions or comments? I'd just like to say welcome again. Roll call, please.
14C, Mr. Salverini.
Yes.
Mr. Andrikowitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. De Silva.
Yes.
Mr. Dolan.
Yes.
And Mrs. Shada.
Yes, and I'd like to move 14D through O. Moved by Peter, second by John Dolan. Roll call, please.
D through O, Mr. Salverini.
Yes.
Mr. Andrikowitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. De Silva?
Yes.
Mr. Dolan?
Yes.
And Mr. Shaw.
Yes. Item 15, this section of public participation will be limited to 15 minutes.
Not even a sneeze?
Evelyn Slocco, 43 Thunderhead Place. I just wanted to bring to your attention that for over 2 months now at Ramapo Ridge, when I've gone over there, when no one's in the hallways, there's a big garbage can and there's a leaking pipe outside of the cafeteria, and I just wanted to make sure that that was going to be rectified this summer.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Just before
Good
we
evening.
Oh.
Regina Goode, Ramapo Ridge Middle School. Just a quick observation and a quick question. In regards to the new district motto, I didn't hear the entire phrase. Could you, Mrs. Carter, would you mind repeating?
Thunderbirds soaring to greater heights.
That's lovely. Thank you. No, seriously. But I was just wondering, Thunderbird, that's really not entirely inclusive of all the schools in the district? Is that something specific to just the high school, or can all the schools rally around the Thunderbird?
We're all supposed to be Thunderbirds,
We're all supposed to be
everyone in the
Thunderbirds.
district.
Okay, thank you very much.
No questions, comments?
Then-
Oh, no,
then one, just a reminder that July 9th, I'll advertise, as long as it's okay with everyone. We have an executive committee, a personnel issue to discuss, and we would like to meet at 6 o'clock so that we can hopefully wrap up in the neighborhood of 7 o'clock for a regular meeting. So is that okay with everyone? I'm sorry.
Is that Wednesday?
It's the same, it's a
Same
regular
board
scheduled
meeting
meeting,
night.
just an hour earlier.
On class.
What time? You'll be here before 7, just not at 6.
And a reminder
6
will
o'clock.
go out to everybody.
And I'll advertise.
Thank you. Before we have a motion to adjourn, there is one other person who is retiring. I don't want to do this. Thank you. Thank you from the students of Mahwah. Thank you from the parents of Mahwah. Thank you from the Board of Ed. Thank you. You have made a huge difference in the township of Mahwah and the district of Mahwah. Just look at these teachers out here, most of whom you've worked with or you hired. And I think most of them you would consider, if not all, your friend. Thank you.
I am gonna miss you all so much, and I can't say more, or I'll start bawling again, but, you know what? Really, this place is amazing, amazing. And it's been my honor to be part of the growth of the incredible things that we've done here. I mean, it was a great place when I got here, and I think every single year we have gotten better and better. Our staff is exceptional. Our kids are, talk about Thunderbirds soaring to greater heights. They're doing amazing things. Mahwah is now on the map in the state of New Jersey as the go-to place if you want to know about instruction, if you want to know about Common Core, and implementing all of these mandates that everybody kind of groaned under in the state, but we're doing it and we're doing it beautifully, and I'm just so honored. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Can I get a motion to adjourn? Moved by Chris, seconded by Doug. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.